Hello everyone, welcome back to Abodery. If you're new here, my name is Ines and I love to share all things natural, sustainable parenting and a lot about cloth nappies, and today we are continuing the chat about cloth nappies with a video talking all about newborn nappies. Now I actually already have a video all about newborn nappies, but today specifically what I'm going to do is talk through some of the newborn nappies that we used for my latest baby who was born in January. He's about 4 months now, so we're just coming to the end of the newborn phase and it seems like the perfect time to look back on which nappies we enjoyed, which we tried but didn't love so much, and hopefully give you a little idea of the kinds of nappies that are out there and which might work for you. Now, as I said, I do have a whole other video about newborn nappies and why you might want to use them. So I would recommend checking that out before you watch this video, just because it will give you a bit of context to newborn nappies. The main reason, in a nutshell, is that most modern cloth nappies are one size or birth to potty, so that just means that they're designed to fit your baby right from birth all the way through to potty training. But in reality, most babies won't fit one size nappies at birth because they're designed to fit from around 8 to 10 pounds. So if you're really set on using cloth nappies from day one, then having newborn nappies on hand can be really helpful. Newborn nappies will often fit from like maybe even 4 or 5 pounds all the way up to anywhere up to 20 pounds. So you get a really good amount of time from them, and they're particularly good if you're expecting a very small baby, maybe if you have twins or you've had premature or preterm babies in the past, then having newborn nappies is likely to work really well for you. So I'm going to split the video up into the different kinds of cloth nappies that we've tried. You'll see that there's a bit of a theme. There are some kinds of nappies that I tried more of, and that's because I genuinely think that they work really well for newborn nappies. Without further ado, let's get into it. Today's video is kindly sponsored by Pim Pam, who make the most beautiful reusable nappies. I will talk a little bit more about them later in the video. I'm going to start by talking about all-in-one, pocket and all-in-two newborn nappies. I've put these together in the same category because to me they kind of fit the same bill in that they all look a lot like a disposable when they go on, and they tend to be slower drying and more expensive than flat or fitted nappies, which I will talk a bit more about in a moment. They're great if you're happy to spend a little bit more money to get something really simple, but the downside for newborns is that they tend not to be particularly absorbent. So I'm going to talk you through the ones that we've tried this time. There aren't many of them, just because I tend to find on the whole they don't work great, but some of these have worked fantastically for us, so let me tell you about them. First up is the Thirsties Newborn All-in-One Nappy. This, without doubt, is the best newborn all-in-one that I've tried. It gave us enough absorbency to last several hours, right the way up to about 3 months, I think. So plenty of absorbency there, and the fit is really lovely. So this fit him right from birth, and I think it would probably fit a baby that was smaller than Jesse. So he was 7 pounds one, but I believe that this would fit right down to 5 pounds. So if you're looking for something for a tiny baby, this would work really well. The inner is hemp and cotton, which to me is wonderful because those are two of the most sustainable materials. There's no microfiber in it, so no risk of compression leaks. Definitely one to try if you're willing to spend a little bit more money. We tried 2 pocket nappies, one that we didn't love so much and one that we did. The one that we didn't love is the Baba and Boo newborn pocket nappy. Lots of people really love these. They are very absorbent, but I've tried this now on 2 newborn babies, my second baby and my third baby, and both times it has taken weeks and weeks and weeks for it to fit them. So it didn't fit Margot until she was about 3 months old. She was tiny. And it didn't fit Jesse until he was maybe like 6 or 8 weeks old. So to me that kind of defeats the purpose of a newborn nappy, because it's obviously designed to fill the gap before your baby fits into one size nappies. But having said that, lots of people do like them, and like I said, the absorbency is really fantastic. So if you're looking for something to try that's very absorbent and you're expecting a big baby, then it might be worth looking into. One pocket nappy we did absolutely love is this one by Fia. Fia make fantastic nappies. I don't think I've ever tried a nappy by them that I didn't love, and this is no exception. It's a wonderful fit. I don't know if you can see, but the gusset is quite narrow, which is a great thing on a newborn because they're just so tiny. So any extra bulk between the legs will just make it look really bulky. But this one is fantastic. It is super absorbent, so we still found that Jessie wasn't out wetting this by 3 months. In fact, I think he's still wearing them at nearly 4 months. So it goes to show just how much longevity you can get out of these. The inserts are bamboo, I believe 100% bamboo. I might be wrong, in which case I'll just put a little note here. So lovely natural fibres, and I don't think these are too expensive, so definitely good value for money. And they also have beautiful prints. So there you go. Speaking of pocket nappies, I want to talk about today's video sponsor, which is Pim Pam. Pim Pam make the most beautiful pocket nappies. They are one size nappies, but the reason that I wanted to mention them in this video is that they were the first birth to potty nappy that fitted both Margot and Jessie. The sizing for a birth to potty nappy is just fantastic because they go down lovely and small for tiny babies, but then they also fit really well once children are a little bit older. I'll pop in some pictures here of Pim Pam nappies on both my 3-week-old Jessie and 2.5-year-old Margot. You can see side by side that they fit fantastically right the way through, which, like I said at the start of the video, just isn't a given for a birth to potty nappy. I really love this brand, partly because it's a small woman-owned brand. So Alice, who owns it, is wonderful. She's become a good friend of mine and is a huge advocate for cloth nappies being easy to use and beautiful. So Alice's background is actually as an illustrator, and she creates all of the prints on her nappies by hand herself, which means that they are some of the most lovely nappies out there. They're stocked now in lots of beautiful independent boutiques all across the world because they really fit that gorgeous Instagram aesthetic. I'll insert some shots here of some of the different prints that she makes because they really are lovely. But the good news is that they don't just look beautiful, they are also excellent nappies in their own right. They have this beautiful stay dry fleece lining with a double gusset, which is excellent for containment, and 2 inserts which are made of a mix of bamboo and microfiber, so lovely absorbency that will last a really good amount of time. I also find these great for on the go and childcare because they're really easy to fit. Out of all the nappies we have, these ones are the ones that my husband reaches for the most, which is an indication of how easy they are to use because he will always reach for the easiest ones first. Pim Pam also make a range of accessories, so I absolutely love their travel changing mats, which I've mentioned in a couple of videos before. Again, you get the beautiful prints, but they also have some really nice kind of padding, so if you're ever forced to change your baby on a toilet floor, which has happened when they don't have changing facilities, then it's really nice to have that extra bit of padding. I will drop a link in the description box if you'd like to have a look at Pim Pam's range of nappies and products, and if you would like 10% off, then you can also use the code ABODERY. So have a look at Pim Pam and I hope you enjoy it, and let's get back into the video. I also wanted to mention this nappy, which is an all-in-2 nappy, and that is the Close Pop-In Newborn. I didn't actually try this time just because I found I had such a hard time with them with my second baby. It just didn't feel worth it. The absorbency on these is really poor. So, well, not really poor. It's fine when babies are really tiny, but doesn't last beyond about 3 or 4 weeks just because once they really start taking on milk, they just wee an awful lot for their size. So this is great for tiny babies, premature babies, or babies that you know that are going to be really small and not going to drink loads and loads right from day one. Again, lots of people love them, but we just really haven't found that they've worked for us with either baby. So worth a mention, but probably not one to invest in. An all-in-2 that we do like is the Thirsties Duo. So this is actually a size nappy. So this is a size 1 and then they do a size 2 and a size 3, which works great because it will fit from birth, but then also will last right up to kind of 22, 24 pounds. So that would be about 9 months old. They come with a whole range of different inserts. So you can choose from microfiber, hemp, and then hemp with kind of a stay dry layer on top. The absorbency on these is fantastic. It's almost the all-in-two sister of the newborn all-in-one by Thirsties that I mentioned earlier on. But this is going to be a slightly cheaper option because you can just buy fewer of the covers and then switch out the insert. So if your baby's just wet the nappy, just take out the wet insert and put a fresh one in, and you can reuse the cover, you know, maybe 3 or 4 times before you come to wash it. So definitely works out as a cheaper option than buying a whole stash of newborn all-in-ones. The other nice thing about all-in-two nappies for newborns is that you can use the covers with fitted or flat nappies, which are actually my preferred options for newborns, and that segues nicely into talking about some of the fitted nappies that we loved. So I have got the biggest stack of fitted nappies to show you because I really believe these are one of the best options for newborns. They're pretty easy to put on. They are super absorbent, so you're going to find them really reliable for newborns, which actually wet really heavily. They're also reasonably affordable, although the prices do range quite significantly, so I'll mention which ones are cheaper and which ones are more expensive. First up is this super cute little nappy by Puppy or Poopy, I think it's Puppy, a Polish brand. These are tiny, so fantastic if you're having twins or expecting a preterm baby. Not great on the absorbency front, but only really because they have a pocket in the back and they don't come with a booster. So you have to buy the nappy and a booster, which kind of pushes the price up a little bit. They are super soft though and very cute. I bought a couple mostly because I wanted something really nice and trim for the early days, and I'm happy to invest a little bit more in nappies, partly because it's sort of my job. But I'm not sure I would necessarily recommend this as a whole stash unless you're willing to get something a little bit special for the early days. Next up is a stalwart of my nappy collection, and that is the Motherese Sandies. These are fantastic. This is a size small, but they also do an extra smalls, and the extra smalls are fantastic from birth. It's worth having a few extra smalls, I would say, just for the early days. But you can interchange them with some smalls. You know, you don't want to buy a whole stash of every size, if that makes sense. But yeah, super absorbent and not too bulky on a tiny newborn. And if you go for the organic cotton option, which is my favourite, then they're not too slow to dry and they're reasonably affordable as well. Next up is the Bubble Bobs Bam Bam, which is one of my favourite newborn nappies. Very absorbent, very trim, reasonably expensive. So when I was planning for Jessie's arrival, I was thinking about getting more of these, but someone on Facebook suggested that the Easy Peasy Bimble is a really similar nappy that is much cheaper, and they were exactly right. Like, you can see them side by side, very similar. The Bam Bam is slightly trimmer, but I really didn't find that a problem. This was still very trim and lovely on him. You can see both of them are made of terry. This one is bamboo, and I believe this one is cotton. So if you're looking for bamboo, then that might give this one the edge for you. They both have no closure, as you can see, so you need to use a nappy nipper to close them, but I really don't find that too much faff. Once you've got the hang of them, they're really easy. The only other difference is that the Bimble actually has a fleece lining inside, which, depending on your preference, might be a pro or a con for you. It will help keep baby dry, but obviously it is polyester, so it depends if you're happy to have like polyester sitting next to your baby's skin. I'm fine with it, though I do prefer not to have the fleece lining just because I don't think I really need it. So if you were looking at Bam Bams but you want something a bit more affordable, then you might want to go for a Easy Peasy Bimble. I'm getting really confused with all the B's. Bam Bam Bimble. Bam Bam Bimble. Another one we tried was the Ella's House Newbie. This is a hemp nappy, which is really nice, a hemp fitted nappy. Quite similar to all nappies by Ella's House in that it does go a little bit stiff. I also don't love having Velcro, it just tends to catch on things. But overall, like, quite a nice nappy, and I don't think it's too expensive. So if you're looking for something reasonably affordable, then this might be something to look into. And then two more nappies that are pretty similar are the Petit Lulu fitted newborn and the Navy fitted newborn. Both of these are Czech brands, I believe, and a lot of their products are almost exactly the same. Both of them come in either snaps or the version with no fastening where you need to use a nappy nipper, so that's not really a difference between them. And apart from that, they're almost exactly the same. If you like a particular print, you might want to go for one or the other. I do believe a navy are ever so slightly cheaper, but I might have that wrong, so worth looking at what the prices are at the moment. Both of them are really absorbent and we've loved them both, and they fit really well from newborn as well actually. Compared to other fitted nappies, they are a little more expensive, but given that they're more absorbent, you're probably going to find that you're investing in something really reliable. Another one we really enjoyed for the first time this time is the Geffen Baby fitted. These are really simple in terms of construction and materials. I really like them. You can get versions that are either popper or the nipper fastening. I did actually want to get one with the nipper fastening, but I think they were sold out. They're pretty trim, although they are quite wide between the legs, so they can get a little bit bulky, and there again are different sizes, so I believe this is a size small. No, I think this is an extra small actually, but then there are a few other sizes to take you right the way through to potty training. I don't think they're super cheap, but certainly more affordable than some other options, and I really like that it's a cotton nappy again. I do prefer organic cotton to bamboo, just because organic cotton I believe is slightly more sustainable, but there's not much in it, so it really comes down to what you prefer. So yes, one to take a look at, Geffen Baby. Then another kind of nappy that we really love for newborns is the flat nappy. If you're new to cloth nappies, please don't write off flat nappies. They sound terrifying, but they really aren't. There's a little bit of a learning curve, but once you've got the hang of it, they are actually really easy. So I'll talk you through some of the options that we've really loved, and if you feel up to it, then definitely give them a try. I'm going to start with pre-folds in the flats category. Again, I've got a video all about pre-folds. It's one of the ones that's most watched on my channel because lots of people like to try pre-folds. So if you would like to know more about pre-folds, then I'll link the video up here. But I'll just talk you through a few of the ones that we've enjoyed this time, or not enjoyed so much, so that you can decide which to go for. First up is cotton pre-folds. So both children that I've used cloth nappies from birth, I've used Muslin's cotton pre-folds. I do find that they are quite bulky. So when they come, they're lovely and soft and big, and then you put them in the wash and they shrink down and go sort of bubbly and thick like this. So they do still work, but they're just one of the more sort of bulky, stiff options. And the same goes for any other brand of cotton pre-fold. So this one is Muslin's, this one is Geffen Baby. This is actually a size 2, but just to give you an idea of the fact that they're quite similar. I do find the Geffen Baby marginally slimmer, but it's also more expensive. So for cotton pre-folds, you'll often find they're quite bulky. Then there are quite a few hemp options out there. So my all-time favorite that I've mentioned on here 1,000 times is the Thirsties hemp pre-fold. These stay lovely and soft. They're very slim but very absorbent. Yeah, I can't fault them basically. I absolutely love them. We find that we use them right the way through from birth to potty. So this is a size 1, but my daughter used it right the way up until potty training. They are quite expensive, so if you don't have a lot to spend, then you might need to give these a miss. But like I say, you do get lots of wear out of them, so good value for money in my opinion. There are other hemp options as well. So this is a Little Love Bum hemp trifold, and Fia also do one as well, which is nice. The problem with this kind of hemp is that it does go a bit stiff in the wash, hence why I really enjoy the hemp that Thirsties make, because it obviously stays much softer. So that's worth bearing in mind. And I actually don't think that these versions are much cheaper than the Thirsties one. So if you're looking for hemp, then I would probably go for Thirsties. Oh, and one question that I get quite regularly is if there are any alternatives to the Thirsties one if it's sold out. And the answer is yes. Another brand called Geffen Baby that I've already mentioned, they make one that's really similar to this, though it is slightly slower drying just because it doesn't have this kind of tubular shape that the Thirsties one do. So these are really good because they dry quite quickly. But yeah, if you're looking for one quite quickly, then you could always try the Geffen Baby hemp pre-fold. Moving on to kind of true flats, so just big squares of material. These are a few that I've really enjoyed. So first up is just muslins. Muslins are one of the best things that you can use for newborn babies because they're super affordable. They last really well. They're very flexible to different sizes of baby, and you can use them to boost your nappies as baby gets older. So definitely a staple of any newborn cloth nappy stash, and worth having a few of these on hand to give them a go. One that we tried for the first time this time was the Bell's Bums bamboo flat. This is lovely. It's very soft, very stretchy, will fit a variety of different sizes of baby, and everything that Bell's Bums make is pretty affordable, really good value for money, so I definitely really rate this one. Another of my all-time favourite flat nappies is the Buttons Bird's Eye Cotton Flat. There are other brands out there that make ones that are really similar to this, so the main one is Brightbots, and Brightbots actually make them cheaper than Buttons do, so it's worth going for the Brightbots ones. These are fantastic. They work excellent on newborns because they're not too bulky, but there's some kind of magic in these because they work for older babies as well. If you were going to invest in one nappy for your newborn baby, it would be this one. Get the hang of folding it and you'll be away. It's super affordable, very reliable. Yeah, just probably all-time favourite nappy. Another option that people like to go for when they're on a budget is to try terries. So this is my favourite kind of terry nappy. This is a bamboo terry by Little Pants. If you're looking into terries, then for your newborn it's worth going for a smaller terry, so maybe a 50cm square terry rather than a 60 or a 70, which work better for older babies. These bamboo ones are much slimmer for the amount of absorbency they have than a cotton terry, but obviously that means that they are slightly more expensive as well. So if you're looking for something affordable, then just go for a simple cotton terry, or if you want kind of the Rolls Royce of terry nappies, then look into these ones from Little Pants that are made of bamboo. Finally, I started trying a few pre-flat nappies once Jessie was a little bit older, so I didn't actually use these from birth, but they are fast becoming a really loved part of my nappy stash, and that is pre-flats. So this is actually a medium because the small is in the wash, but this one is by Weekings Diapers. It's a gorgeous organic cotton tie-up pre-flat. There are also loads of options out there without the tie, and recently I've been trying pre-flats that are made of like amazing new materials like Tencel, so they're really slim but really absorbent. I will mention a few brands down in the description box that I've tried recently. Like I say, I didn't try them from birth, so in some ways not really valid for this video, but I think if I was going to have another baby I would look into these for the newborn phase. So I'll make a few suggestions in the description box, and it's worth going to check those out. And if you didn't know, maybe I should just explain what a pre-flat is. A pre-flat is just that instead of, you know, a normal flat nappy that's like a big square, there has been some shaping made to the nappy, if that makes sense. So if I can show you here, you can see that instead of just being a square, it has these cut out areas just to help you fit it slightly more easily onto your baby. So if a flat nappy completely intimidates you, but you like the concept, then it might be worth trying a pre-flat. Now, obviously both fitted and flat nappies need waterproof covers over the top. So I'm going to briefly talk you through some of my favourite wraps that I've used over both fitted and flat nappies this time. First up is the Motherese Airflow. This nappy is, again, a stalwart of my collection. They work great over both fitted and flat nappies and come in all sorts of sizes. They will fit from a tiny newborn right up to potty training. Just a fantastic nappy. One that was new to me this time is the Via newborn wrap. These are fantastic. They go down really small to fit tiny babies, but also open up to last like well beyond kind of classic newborn phase. So my 4-month-old is still in these. The prints are beautiful and they are very reliable, and they have a double gusset as well, so if that's a feature that you like, then this one's worth checking out. Another one that's worth looking into is the Buttons newborn wrap. I really like these partly because they're super affordable. The downside is that they tend to leave quite strong sock marks, so if your baby has sensitive skin or you're nervous about sock marks, then maybe give this one a pass, but if that's okay with you, then this one's worth checking out purely on the basis of value for money. Another one I love is the Seedlings newborn wrap. These are a little bit difficult to get hold of just because they seem to sell out really fast, but yeah, one that I really like. The fit is really beautiful. They are kind of middle of the road on pricing, so you can find cheaper ones, but the quality is really lovely and the prints can be really nice, so it's up to you. With my second baby, we really loved these Bear and Boho newborn covers, partly because they're pretty, but also because they fit my second baby really well. She, like I said, she was a tiny one, and these Bear and Boho ones go really tiny. However, this time around we haven't loved them so much. Jessie was, like I said, £7 one, so not huge but bigger, and so we found that he grew out of these ones much quicker and that the legs gave him quite deep sock marks, which I know is a problem that other people have had with them too. So we do like these and we still use them, but I find that there are so many more options available now that I prefer to these ones. Another one that we tried for the first time this time was the Bells Bum size 1 wrap. I do like these. There's lots of really nice features. I love the soft binding, and the value for money is excellent, like I said, with all Bells Bum's products. For us, the fit was kind of a bit funky. I don't know quite why. I don't know if it's maybe because the binding is quite bulky, so we found it was kind of stiff around the legs. I'm not really sure. I couldn't put my finger on what I didn't really like about it, but given the value for money, this could definitely be worth trying. And we did use it a lot, you know, it's very reliable, so I don't know if it was just something about Jessie's shape that the fit of it didn't quite work for him. Another one we really like that I mentioned earlier on is the Thirsties Duo Wrap. Like I said, these are designed to be an all-in-two with the duo inserts, but they work well over all sorts of nappies. So yeah, we've got lots of these and really love them. Finally, I wanted to mention wool covers. I knitted quite a few wool covers before Jessie was born because I knew I wanted to use wool a lot. Wool is a great option for newborns because it's breathable, and the fact that you lanolise them to make them waterproof actually means they're moisturising for a newborn baby. If you've had a little baby, you'll know how dry their skin gets. So these are fantastic just for skin health, breathability. If I could, I would use wool all the time with a newborn baby, but sometimes it's helpful to have some plastic wraps on hand just because they're a little bit easier to care for. Wool is by far one of my favourite things for a newborn. Oh, and to say, you don't have to knit your own. Like I said, I knitted a lot, but I did also buy a couple of really nice wool wraps by a brand called Puppy, which is the same brand as that fitted nappy that I mentioned at the start. The really sad news is that they went in the wash and shrunk, which I was absolutely gutted about because one of them was the first nappy that Jessie ever wore. So I had a little cry about that, but I'm trying to put it out of my mind and forget about it. But they were really lovely. So if you're looking for a wool wrap and you don't want to make your own, then that's one to look into. Just make sure you don't shrink them like me. So in the busyness of life, I completely forgot to film an outro to this video. That is all the nappies I wanted to talk about, and if you have any more questions, please do drop them in the comments below. And also do let me know if there are any other nappies that I should try or that perhaps worked well for you on your newborn baby, because other people would love to see recommendations. Otherwise, please do check out my Instagram or my TikTok if you'd like to see more from me, and I will see you next time. Bye!